and welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at JCON Europe, coming to you live from Cologne, Germany. My next guest is Dmitry Yanter. Welcome. And look at Dmitry, he already wears the JCON t-shirt for this year, which is pretty cool. I think it's like, I don't know what it means.
But it's cool as usual, I would say.
It's cool as usual. I guess it's some fantasy gnome, Lord of the Rings.
Probably, yeah.
of Dukes or something, Java Dukes, whatever it is. It's very cool. Dmitry, welcome. Thank you for coming. And you mentioned that your talk will be about sustainable team dynamics.
That's right.
It looks like an interesting topic. What is it? What are we talking about?
So if we try to put very simply, so sustainable team dynamics is about dynamics, i.e. things that change over time, and sustainable means that they survive, basically. They do not fall, they do not crack, and they somehow keep evolving. And my point here is that on the conferences, in the, let's say, common narrative, we spend a lot of effort to look into how we start the project, how we build it, how we look into how to make it happen. But currently, we have a lot of systems, libraries, platforms that are 10 years old, 20 years old, and we need to think how basically we go through the very start, through the whole life cycle of the project or the team. And in order to do this, I analyzed one of the biggest data sources of JIRAs. You may think about that we have publicly available almost 500,000 of JIRAs from multiple projects. And I tried to get some insights how actually team managed to evolve over hundreds of sprints. And again, this is what not really trivial to understand that in agile world, we plan for sprints, which is like 2 weeks time, but actually we run ultra marathons, hundreds and hundreds of sprints.
Yeah, no, this is very true, and we all know how inventably those projects kind of go into this legacy mode,
that's true.
which is a nice word to say. It's just a terrible pile of shit living there that no one wants to touch. And I guess that's true for most of the projects. And obviously the conflict there is that those projects need to keep evolving, that need to be active, that need to be maintained, but they're also in the state that no one wants to do it.
That's true.
So how do we deal with this impossible situation in which we need to take care of those projects, but they're in the state that we don't want to?
So I think that first of all, it's a matter of facing the fact that our projects probably will live for many years. And for instance, if you look into just GitHub repositories and how old they are, the median value is about 7 years. And again, this is just the median value. And normally 7 years is far, far beyond our planning horizon. But this is where normally current projects, they already live for this time. This is what you need to think about it, that first of all, whatever you develop is very likely to be decommissioned. And sometimes it will be you or it will be somebody else. And thinking about, like in physical world, you have your microphones, your laptop, and it has some limited lifetime, right? So at some point in time, you have to recycle it. And at some point in time, you have to recycle your code. And in this sense, if you think about it really in sustainable way, in kind of like cyclic manner, you need to pay some effort and put some attention into maintenance in the way that it just don't blow up as a legacy thing that's unable to maintain.
Okay, so that sounds like a very hard thing to do. How do we do that? Let's say I wrote a small library today. I don't think anything out of it. It's convenient for me. Maybe I share it with a couple of colleagues. It lives out there on GitHub, has a little bit of users. I don't think 7 years ahead what I'm going to do with it. It's just there, and probably while I'll need it, I'll maintain it, I'll fix some bugs, and you know what, maybe I will be nice enough to implement some features that people asked, but I don't have any grandiose plans to, live for 7 years with it and maintain it forever and this kind of stuff. Uh, how do I do it better?
Actually highlighted the two most common insight that I get out of the looking into this data. So actually, two things: fix bugs and build networks. If you intentionally try to make your project and your product better by constantly fixing bugs, and this is tremendous, because sometimes you look into the projects and how they started, they had 0 bugs. But then they somehow end up into some ratio. Other projects, they started with everything is a bug, and they somehow evolved into some stable ratio. So for each project, there is a stable ratio of bugs that you keep fixing. The second nice thing about bugs is that if you look into how fast it takes for you to fix them, then the median value, and think about it, is 24 days from creating to resolution. So it's super short-living thing.
Yeah.
But if you make it a constant, like for instance, like nutrition, right? You need to have different nutrients as balances.
Yep.
Like bug is a very important nutrient of your project. You need to make it
because this is what kind of drives it forward and makes it
maybe not drives it forward, but keep up to date.
Keep up to date. Well, but again, I mean, for now, I'm excited about the code that I wrote, and I use it a lot, and I'm very grateful for people who submit bugs because they keep maintaining it up to date and fix real problems. In some point of time, I don't use that library anymore. I switch jobs, I switch domains. I'm not interested in that anymore, but the bugs are keep coming, but I don't want to do it anymore. So first, I kind of feel responsibility, so I will do it. But as the time passes, I kind of lose interest, and
that goes to the second insight. And the second insight to build networks, and this is just incredible. If you think about very simply, you have Jiras, you have reporter, you have assignee, you have developer. So how you set up your Jiras? If you try to build it as a network, for instance, you create the Jira, I fixed it. This is a network between us, and we try to make it a graph for long-running projects. It will really look like a wired brain network with a lot of interconnection. And this is the answer to your question. I'm leaving the project, some will take it up, but I have to be prepared. So there are some people who are first interested in the project, they can contribute, and it's easy for them to join and contribute. Maybe a small thing, small bug, whatever. But this is super essential to build networks that are more than just the top contributor, the founder, or maybe the founding team. And that's really happens for many projects. You just look into the graph, and this is really a wired network with thousands of nodes, with interconnection, which means that you take somebody out and somebody will step in.
All right, this is cool. I think we learned a couple of things. First, the network is very important, not necessarily for today, but definitely for the project to be sustainable, right? And second, that it is a living thing that will outlive probably your interest in this project, and you need to plan for it.
That's true.
Excellent. Dmitry, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was very interesting. For you all, check Dmitry's talk on JCON website when it is published, and keep watching for more interviews at Build Propulsion Lab at JCON, coming to you live from Cologne. Dmitry, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thanks.